Auto museum, and electrical appliance museum. All of that stuff is packed away. I brought a few things down. I've got thousands of things. I'll tell you something. When I started out, you'd go buy a milk bottle for 50 cents. Now there's people paying $300 for a milk bottle. How do you compete with that? $300 for a coffee can. How do you compete with that? You can't. You can't. But anyways, I'll show you the Primo thing in my collection. It's not made in Racine, but the pickers really had fun with this when I told them I was offered $13,000, you know. And Mike turned to Frank and said, "Do you know anybody that buys irons?" Frank said, "No." And then that ended that. Then a little while later, we were doing something else, and Mike come up to me and he says, "Take 20,000 for that iron today, Jim?" And I spun around and he said, "I'm only kidding. Then we were doing something else, and again he popped up with another number, and I spun around. You know, the camera guys got it. They didn't use it. The camera people were in 9 hours. The pickers were here about 4. But the camera people, with the interviews and things like that, were here 9 hours. Incredible. So I said, "That's my antique roadshow piece," and that's when they said, "That's it, stop, stop. You can't say that." But they still filmed, you know, afterwards. We were honored by Preservation Racine. We have our certificate. I guess we were one of the first in Yorkville to get the certificate. The original house is a toll house from the Plank Road. It was dragged over here in 1867 and converted into a farmhouse. In 33 they added on an addition. In 66 they added on another addition. But there are a number of photographs here that you can look at. You know. Now this is just kind of fun, show and tell. You don't want to hear about me all the time. I'm sitting in front of my computer, shelves all around me with junk, books, Horlicks Malta milk bottles, and Pilgrim Oats cans. Pilgrim Oats, Racine, Wisconsin. Kind of cool. They never could take over Quaker, but, you know. So I go on the internet and I punch in Pilgrim Mills. All of a sudden, a book comes up. I said, "What the heck, you know?" Generation to generation, life cycles of a family business. And Pilgrim Mills is mentioned in the book. Pilgrim, the family's name is Pilgrim, and it's Pilgrim in their homeland. So I go on Amazon and I find the cheapest book and I buy the book, and then I get a little bit more of the story, and I find out that it had to do with that Pilgrim Mills, and the one son was the chief editor of Honolulu Press, and another son was a professor at the University of Madison, you know. But before it was Racine, it became Racine Grain, and that was right up the road here, but it's changed now. But an earlier one, just berry, Hillberry, yeah, Hillberry, and they used to bag the grains and sell them. But it was really neat. them Pilgrim Mill cans were floating around at rummage sales and estate sales. And the reason they were floating around, and usually they were in basements with nails in it, people never threw anything away. Well, they were trying to sell these overseas. There's 6 languages on it, and after all of the charges and everything, they couldn't make any money. So they dropped it. But they had a whole train car load of these cans. What the hell do you do with a train car load of Pilgrim Oats cans? And I'll show you a neat thing that they did. 6, 8, 10. Each one of these boxes has 10 Pilgrim Oats cans. Yeah? So, the lady in the house said, well, why don't we just get some cardboard boxes and make this game? Look, we can make this game, and we can use them cans, and it would be called Holy Moly, and it would be a ramp. It'd be a ramp, and you had your little ping pong balls, and oh, I got 1 point. So, some of you people who aren't from Racine, we had like a Sam's Club here back in the 1950s. It was called Allen's Merchandising, and you had to be a member, and they had catalogs. Okay, so this Pilgrim gets in a gambling game, playing that game with the guy that owned Allen's. And the Allens ended up having to buy the whole 10,000 games and selling it. He lost. And he got the 10,000 games, you know, but he was able to sell them. And I don't know, something like that would have sold for probably $1.99 back in 1955, you know. But what a rather unique, I think you can hear me. Can you all hear me? Yeah. What a unique kind of thing, you know. And that editor, the publisher in Honolulu, could you find me one of those games? I said, my God, I'm lucky I found the one I did. And then I just so happened to find one, and he was coming in to be honored at Horlick for their high school reunion. And he said, can I meet you at Wells Brothers? I'll buy you a pizza. And then I came there and I had the game. And his mother was still alive. And he said, this is gonna kill her if anything. It's really something. But you know, it isn't, with me, I don't need all these shiny, fancy $300, $1,000 things and that. I get excited over a newspaper clipping that has a little information that I haven't seen before. Some of the collections here, the Marshall collection, I have the entire Shoreline Leader, everything that was left over, all the thom volumes, all the newspapers. I have other glass plate negative collections in that, photographs, and the earliest stuff is prehistoric. Things like that iron, unique, you know, and then all the local things too. It's full. I can't take you up there because they're just little narrow paths. 300 and some irons because I went to an auction over here in Kansasville and I was number 4 and I just kept putting it up. And then all of a sudden I got 300 irons. Oh, okay. But I have a focus on Racine, but also Racine County. And the blacksmith shop came from Rochester. I have a 1920s barber shop from Racine, Orla Latrena's barber shop. But the thing is, I bought it 20 years ago, and it's upstairs in the barn, you know. And I talked to my the town board and that, you know, can I build a temporary building? No, too big. It's got to be permanent. And well, I don't know. Then maybe I won't do it because that's an awful lot of money to invest. You know, and then I have to pay taxes on it and probably have to heat it and that. So, but fanning mills, I got 23. Well, I had 23. I think I got about 25 now. Who needs 25 fanning mills? And we don't even have one down here. Well, there's one in the other room. We don't even have them down here to show you what they are.
They're asking.
It's a grain cleaning machine. And you dump the grain in the top and it had a fan on it and these sieves that would shake it. Seed shaker, you know, cleaner.
We had one at the Blake House last year, but Jim was here.
Yeah. No, I've got Blake's here. Well, I'll tell you one of the things about Lucius Blake. He owned this property before it was sold. Everybody was squatting everywhere and marking their spots, and he owned this property. And then there's a big portrait of him, Lucius Blake.
We have a fanning mill out at the Caledonia Historical Society in the museum, so when anybody comes out, make sure you
There was a lot of them made. They were made all over the country. But Racine, Wisconsin was said in the 1879 history book that 1 out of every 2 fanning mills in the United States came from Racine. So we were very early in the manufacture of fanning mills. Are there any questions? Oh, the badge. Okay. This is an Old Settler Society's badge. The Old Settler Society of Racine County was founded in 1870, and it was a group, it's like the first historical society. And they had giant picnics. Like after the turn of the century, there were 15,000 people going to these picnics. They held them in Burlington and Rochester and all around the county, but then they bought Old Settlers Park out here, the fairgrounds, Old Settlers Park. There's a big badge like this on a big stone by the side of the road there. This one was found in front of the normal school in Union Grove. The pin broke off, so it fell in the grass and it laid there for whatever. These were manufactured in 1902 as a keepsake, you know. So, yeah, and I only know about 10 of them. There's about 10 that exist, but you know, you don't go around asking everybody, do you have an Old Settlers badge? But it was pretty exciting to get one.
What was the name of the fanning mill company?
There was dozens of them, dozens. And the thing of it was Blake and Company, Blake and Beebe, Blake partnerships. There were different partnerships in that. There was a whole number of them. I have a line of them. They're all buried up there. But I have a line of them all the way across the whole length of the barn here in the back. Because the roof kind of goes down low, and I have a whole line of them back there. All Racine made fanning. You can never have enough fanning.
Gary, I mean, obviously I've seen lots of this stuff, lots of times here. Every collector has one item that made their heart go pitter-pat. It's got nothing to do with value, but it's something that is so exciting when they come. I want to know what item made your heart go pitter-pat.
I don't know. I've had so many pitter-pats along the way. You know, I've got a little Siebercroft engine in here. It's just a little Siebercroft engine. They made them in Racine from about 1912 to 1922. They were only making about 50 a month, so there isn't a heck of a lot of them around. I paid $2,000 for it, and I sent a check to New York City, an apartment in New York City, for an engine. And a couple weeks later, I got it in the mail, and I was very happy, you know. But there was a tie between the Siebercrofts and somebody named Studebaker. And remember when you got a telephone book and you could call people up with a telephone book? Now you can't get a hold of anybody. If you don't have their cell phone number, you're done. You can't find them hardly. Anyways, I called every number in the book called Studebaker. And finally I hit a woman that said, oh yeah, Henry Siebercroft, he was a relative. And we've got a box with some old pictures in it, you know. I said, well, if you'd ever allow me to copy them, I'd love to copy them. So a year goes by. I get a phone call. Oh, Jerry, I found those pictures. If you want to come over and borrow them and copy them, come on over, you know. So I go over there, and there's this wooden box of all his keepsakes. family pictures, literature on the little engines and things like that. So we're going through the box, and she picked up a picture and she said, I wonder what this is. And I said, I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's the Made in Racine Home Show, and he showed his engines at it at the JIK Southworks. She turned it around, Home Expo Case Southworks. She looked at me, she said, you really like this stuff, don't you? And I said, yeah, I do. And she started packing it away in the box. And I'm thinking, what did I do? You know, we're not even going to look at anything. She's packing it away, and all of a sudden she closed the lid and she said, I have all girls. They have absolutely no interest in engines or any of that mechanical stuff. You take them and enjoy them because they're no use to us. That was a pitter patter.
Yeah.
A major pitter patter. You know, I'm driving home and I'm going, yeah! Then we have it. When I used to go bottle digging, it'd be the same thing. You'd find something that you've never seen before, and then you get it for you. You know, and it's stupid things like you get tired, you're walking in the mud in the river, and the mud's up to your knees, so you just kind of sit down on the mud, and the water's only 2-3 inches deep above the mud. And then there was a Model T tire sitting next to me, and my friend's sitting in the mud over here. You know, we're sitting in the middle of the river talking, and I took the tire and I threw it up on the bank, and when the water cleared, a beautiful cobalt blue PJ Coleman seltzer bottle. I said, and it was sitting right there, right next to me, and I walked past that tire 100 times, never thinking there was anything in the middle of it. And I sat there and I said, you've got to be kidding. Another pitter, you know, and it's a lot of fun. You know, one of the things is I kind of bled for my stuff, but eBay kind of destroyed a lot of the fun, because if you have a lot of money, you buy anything you want. And then what I did is I didn't have a lot of money, so I go mudlarking the river. And I'd get excited finding these old bottles. And they were free. You couldn't, and raising children and that, you didn't have a lot of extra money, you know. But eBay took a lot of the fun out of collecting. Anybody that's bought stuff knows that, you know, you'll be on there, you think you got it, and then you'll put a bid in like $200, and it goes for $500. And how do you deal with that? You got to really want it. Any more questions?
We have somebody who's on Facebook Live who wants to know where they can get your books.
Yeah, just the postcard book is at Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
All these other books are out of print, or you can take one for the person. This one here. Now these here, I'm just giving them away. They're reproductions. The original one is grand, but I had them done at a copy shop. You got to go to a printer or somebody that does good work, because the copy shop guy he ran them through. So the pictures didn't come out real nice and that, but there's still the information's there. You know, the original book was done by Bell City Press. You know, Royce Sorensen down there on 6th Street, and Hollywood and the Bell City, it all kind of jived together. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Any more questions? I'm sure you want to.
I have a question for you. This is publicity on the museum board. Excuse me. My friend Kristen McKellar did several articles in different places. And there are, no, it's not even rumor. I know a lady whose grandfather was in the jewelry business, and he dug a cave under what's now Washington Avenue between downtown and uptown, near where Plinkett was. Do you think that the cave was dug to age his beard? Do you think it's still there?
I'm sure it's still there, but it's all filled in. I'm pretty sure it'd be filled in. You know, they would, years later, they cave it, so they would fill it in. It's like the tunnel at the train station.
Oh, that's filled with rock.
That's filled with sand. we went to go through the tunnel, and here they're at the other end pumping sand down there, and no more tunnel. You know, when you're a young kid, you have these routes that you go. A special way to the drugstore, a special way to the grocery store, and you generally follow the same route, but you don't get lost. You know, the thing that breaks my heart, every time I took friends and went downtown, we spun the doors at Hotel Racine. They had a revolving door there. Went up the elevator in the Baker building because there wasn't anybody running it, and you could do it. And we go in the courthouse and spin the doors. And it breaks my heart now that you have to go in that beautiful courthouse and have sheriffs sitting there with the wands. It just breaks my heart. But I would take all the neighborhood kids to the historical room that was in the northwest corner of the courthouse. And I just loved it, and they loved it too. No, it's the Historical Museum, Heritage Museum now.
So are people still finding bottles in the river, or?
Well, they you know, they put the dam up, and so the water's much deeper. The dam had caved in the 1950s. It busted down, and there was only, you know, in deep spots, maybe a foot of water, and the rest was mud. But I mean, the mud would be 3 feet deep some places.
So you were up above the dam?
Above the dam. When you get below the dam, it's a rapids and it's all rocky. The same thing at Island Park and that. If people threw them in there, it's got a rock bottom. Most of the stuff, if it didn't break when it went in, it tumbled and got damaged. So there's a lot of junk in the river. I was walking under 6th Street Bridge at Kenzie there, and I got a stick poking just in case there wasn't a drop off, and I'm poking bicycle frame. Like there must have been 100 bicycle frames there where the kids threw them, stripped them and threw them off the bridge. You know. By the way, now my son-in-law John's the blacksmith. This is his first time, so he's not going to be an expert, but he's learning. Mary Nichols and Helen Lena are going to be up in a Rose house. They'll tell you all about that. There are some pictures of the farm here. And like the tax bill, I think was $16 or something, 1867 for the farm, and a few other things. So, if there's any more questions? Any more questions? Who named the farm? They had, okay, this area of Wisconsin was called Oak Clearings by the pioneers because you had oak groves. Ives Grove and Oak Grove, Union Grove, Oak Groves. These are, a lot of these oak trees on this farm are from the virgin timber yet. A lot of them are dying. We've lost about 15 trees since I've lived here from oak wilt. And then most of them, they get sick because they're old. They've been here 200 years. But it was called Oak Clearings by the pioneers, and the old folks used that term here for the farm, and we just carried it on. You know. And it's really very confusing because up there it says Oak Clearings, and then I call it Oak Clearing Farm. And what is it? I don't know. There's one of them two. Any other questions? You're welcome.